we had to shut down more than 300 hours so far in order to protect the capital from blackout. And if we would not be there, you would have had much more blackouts throughout the country. So we're increasing the efficiency of the infrastructure that anyways is there.
Hey folks, Flo here with Blockchain North, still at the CBC's Alberta Trade Mission. I'm here with Bjorn, who I met for the first time today, and you are with the Penguin Group. Why don't you first introduce yourself in 30 seconds?
Correct. Well, I'm Bjorn, the co-founder of Penguin. We are a Bitcoin mining company out of Paraguay. Our claim to fame, our mission is to transform energy into human potential. So I came to Paraguay to open a school there, ended up mining Bitcoin, and today we have 100 megawatts online and run around 4,000 people through coding education.
Amazing. You come from like education, but hey, education is so important in this space, and you were education in coding, I believe, so there is some kind of a connection there.
It's actually more learning how to think than coding. Like, we teach coding, but the key thing is that I think aside of learning, about money, the other thing that you need to learn is how to think. So you can build stuff, and school doesn't necessarily teach you this. School teaches you how to follow right orders, and I think it comes from a time that is kind of like industrialization time, where schools are built like factories, and you need factory workers. And I think in the future, and it goes very much together with Bitcoin, you don't need so much factory workers anymore, right? AI, robotics will take over that, and hopefully humans will be able to step in their creative potential. So you need people that can think.
What a way to start this interview. Well, you've almost derailed me already, but I could go into so many questions based on what you just said. But let's talk for a moment about the topic of this conference. So we're here in Alberta. This is Energy Day at this Alberta Trade Mission of the Canadian Blockchain Consortium. Is it your first time, by the way, coming to Alberta, Canada? And why are you here?
It's my first time in Canada, actually, not only in Alberta. I came here because I heard a lot about it. Of course, Kalea is, the shining beacon, so to say, of this region. So through her, I heard a lot. I have a friend who is working a lot with Indigenous and helping them. And he said, hey, this concept that you have could be so interesting in Canada, where you have Indigenous communities and you have a lot of electricity. And so there is a lack of opportunities, apparently, at least of like really, how does the future look for some of the young people here. I finally figured I'm going to come up here and I learn more about the region, and I'm blown away by, well, on the one hand side, the type of people that are here, the kind of openness the government is having. I think it's a very relevant conversation that the government has fully understood what this industry needs, and it's very impressive.
Can you draw parallels with the work and what you've achieved in Paraguay and what you see could be achieved perhaps here?
Well, I think Paraguay is a little bit different, right? Paraguay is a South American country, and culturally it's very different from North America. And so when we came to Paraguay, in fact, there was no awareness of this industry, that it would be something good. There was no awareness that this could be something significant for the country.
So far, it sounds quite similar, but
but here we had the premier showing up. We had ministers showing up. We had a minister of IT, I guess, right? That is mining himself and that knew all the cooling technologies. This is
true. But you started in Paraguay a few years ago. Right?
That is correct.
Right.
That is fair.
This is more recent, but shout out to the Alberta government for their support for this industry.
But right now we're still not having much more advanced conversation, to be honest, in Paraguay. I think today this is still not considered a interesting industry, so we don't have any support. In fact, when we came, our energy price, in the very beginning we paid 1.8 cents a kilowatt hour. So from 1.8 we went to 2.8. From 2.8 we went to 3.9, we went to 4.7. Right, all of this while investing hundreds of millions of dollars into the country, while training hundreds and hundreds of people, getting them into jobs, and even today there is no, there's no relation with the government that would advance things to make the conditions better, right? So I think maybe Paraguay is not even where this region is today, even though of course you have probably more size in Paraguay today, right?
Okay.
We have Paraguay probably has 600-700 megawatts of Bitcoin mining today, which is very big if you think that just recently the peak consumption in the country was like around 2 gigawatts, and the average consumption used to be like 1 gigawatt, 1.2 gigawatts, right? So now you have like a third, something like that.
I think you said it was the number one
Yes.
consumer of
Yes.
power.
So to give you an idea, when we started in 2021,
Yeah.
the biggest consumer in Paraguay, single consumer in Paraguay, was around 15 megawatts, 1.5, right? And so we came in with a 100 megawatt power purchase agreement, largest agreement in the history of the country, that actually got executed and energized. And until recently, we've been the biggest energy consumer in the country.
Okay.
Yeah,
And is that a good thing then? I mean, because when you hear that, I can imagine that some folks who maybe don't understand Bitcoin or energy grids, for example, I think most people don't know energy grids that specifically, being a big consumer of electricity. Good thing, bad thing?
Well, certainly a good thing for the country, actually. And so to give you an idea of how this works, I guess the best example I can give is what happened this year. This year, we had to shut down more than 300 hours so far in order to protect the capital from blackout. And if we would not be there, there would have been no one to shut down for protecting. And you would have had much more blackouts throughout the country. So we're, on the one hand side, increasing the efficiency of the infrastructure that anyways is there, right? Of course, we're positioned ourselves very close to the generation, so we don't require a lot of investment. We don't require a lot of like extra kind of like we don't block anything for anyone else. And we utilize infrastructure that anyways exists to make it more efficient. So overall today, I would say that the public utility company gains significant profits from us.
Okay, and not just financial profits, but sort of that complementarity, that flexibility you offer to the grid.
Ultimately, it comes down, of course, also to financial profits, right? That's very important. And that again allows them to subsidize electricity price for the population.
Yeah.
Right.
You're going to leave Alberta probably in a few days to go back to Paraguay. What's one thing you learned that you really didn't expect to learn? Whether it be something, very tangible, or whether it be kind of a feeling that you're maybe left with after a few days here.
So I definitely learned a lot about that there's 1 week in the year where there's a stampede here and things are amazing. So if you ever come here, probably that is the week to come. No, but I think what I learned is that Alberta is at the center right now of the conversation, I guess, around data centers, right? Around the future of data centers. I definitely wasn't aware of that there are so many hyperscalers, not only Bitcoin mining companies, right, but also like large Silicon Valley tech companies already almost executing projects here. So that definitely is what I'm taking away. And I also think that, Alberta is 90% gas, if you want, right? Gas powered, and there's an incredible amount of gas here. So I think also that makes a lot of sense in this time where we are right now, that base load is going to be fired by gas. And I do think that this is a certain period of time right now for the next few years to come where this will grow significantly and will probably be the driver for any type of compute, right? Is it Bitcoin? Is it AI? It makes a lot of sense. It's probably not forever, right? Probably will end up with...
It's like a window of opportunity, you mean?
I think it's a window of opportunity, and I think it's a transitory technology. Eventually we'll, get batteries to where we need them to have to make solar feasible, or we will get small, what's it called, SMRs?
Yeah, small modular reactors?
Small modular reactors to the stage where they're actually becoming feasible. But I think in this time right now, before that, and between where we are today, I think Alberta will see a impressive boom.
So. Amazing. And of course, part of the idea as well is that this whole conversation that we have here becomes so, so normal that we don't even talk about it anymore. Kind of like we don't really talk about the internet right now because it just is, something that we've gotten used to, right? And it goes behind the scenes, let's say.
True.
But in any case, I know you're based in Paraguay, but you are German, so danke schön.
Bitte schön.